The governments of the world took dramatic, bold, rapid action, fiscal, monetary, the companies, the vaccine companies, et cetera. And I think that's very admirable. Of course, we're going to be finger pointing and yelling and screaming at each other for years about the parts that didn't go well. And it is a little disappointing. We haven't come together in the United States with another round here, because I do think we do need that round. But I actually just want to point out a bigger problem. And because people look at COVID and they say, it unearthed, the problems we have in racial inequality and income inequality and the plight of the poor, et cetera. It really didn't. The fact is, those things have been going on for a long, long time. If you looked at, I'm talking about America now, so it's very convenient in America to look at trade or China or immigration or technology and, blame that for our ills. And we may not have handled it all perfectly, but that's not our ills. Our ills are 20 or 30 years of bad policy, bad planning around infrastructure, healthcare, regulations. We've crippled the formation of small business, education. We haven't been doing a good job in inner-city school education now for 30 years. It's been 160 years since the Civil War, and we've done a terrible job getting our black brethren even remotely close to parity. And those flaws are the same flaws of why the world was unprepared for COVID, and we should have been. The world has a common interest in COVID, terrorism, anti-nuclear proliferation, climate change. And if we don't get our act together, it's going to get worse. And you use the word, the most important was collaboration. It isn't going to work if we all yell and scream at each other. And I have a little bit of hope that coming out of this, there'll be more of the humanity that leads us to say, what are our problems? What's the solution? We stop looking at month over month and year over year, because that ain't going to fix it. And one beautiful thing happens if you're not in New York City at 7:00 p.m. every night. If you open up your window, you will hear across the whole city people clapping, yelling, screaming, basically thanking the first responders and the essential workers, who are always essential. But it's a beautiful thing. And just maybe that little bit of humanity will sneak through. We won't make it bipartisan. We won't make it your deal and my deal. But how do we fix inner-city school education? How do we make our safety net work better? How do we get health care to 40 million uninsured? Because it's all doable. It just isn't doable the way we operate today.